Good morning, guys. Welcome back to my channel. It's about 9:30 on Wednesday morning, October 2nd. Wednesday, October 2nd.
Mom, who's that?
It's YouTube.
And who's that?
Penny and I are just sitting here. She's having a little snack before the babysitter comes. Today she'll be here. The babysitter will be here from 10 to 5. And I'm watching Rosie here on the screen on the baby monitor. And she's just waking up, so I should make this short. But wanted to check in. Today is going to be fairly normal, just studio day. I have a few different projects. Yeah, in the mood for just a regular studio vlog. So that's what we're going to do today. Getting up to the studio, and I'm just getting my stuff set up for the day, putting my lunch in my little crock pot lunch heater. I'm having very glamorous leftover soup today, and I can't show you what I'm working on since it's for a packaging client and I won't be able to show it for probably, at least a year or more. I can show you my palette, so these are some of the colors that I'm going to be using today, and then I'm going ahead and diving right into some drawing. I've already finished the watercolor layers on both of the pieces that I'm working on today, so I'm just really doubling down on the colored pencil. I'm taking a quick stop to pump. I've mentioned this pump before in other videos, but I am obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with this particular setup with the Spectra and the Freemy. Before, when I was pumping, it would take me like 30 minutes and I would have to stop what I was doing and hold the pump. And with this arrangement, now that I'm pumping with Rosie, it takes me like 15 minutes total to get the same amount of milk that I would get in 30 minutes. And I don't have to hold the pump at all, and I can keep working. So all I have to do is stop for like 2 minutes to get it set up, and then I can just have the pump going while I'm drawing or writing emails or whatever it is that I'm doing. It just takes up way, way less time in the day. Here we are at 4 o'clock. I am just getting ready to get on my conference call. I'm trying out my AirPods today. These are relatively new. They were a gift from Eric. I haven't used them before for a conference call, so we'll see how it goes. Good morning, guys. It is Thursday morning now. I was planning on making yesterday's vlog just a one-day vlog, but I don't think it was very exciting because you didn't really get to see much of what I was working on, or well, really anything of what I was working on. I did have the end of yesterday, which I'm not sure if you will have seen any of it at all, but I recorded some of my conference call. That went well, but I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. I'll definitely let you guys know. I've worked with the designer who's on the project before, and she's the one who recommended me. It would be a brand new client, and it turned out to be like a really, really big project. So I quoted them of what I think is a very fair rate, but they're hoping to get a ton of work done, like dozens and dozens of illustrations. So I'm not sure if they are quite prepared for what the budget will need to be to get that amount of work done. Yeah, so we'll see what they say. It would be a ton. Yeah, it'd just be a ton of work. It would be spread out probably over the next year or so, but still it would be a big project. It would be a lot for me to handle. So yeah, I haven't heard back. I will let you guys know if I hear back today. Other than that, today I have just dropped off Penelope at school. It's kind of rainy, so my hair looks dreadful. But yes, she's at school. I ran to the grocery store to grab a few things, just put Rosie down for her nap, her second nap of the day. I'm gonna finish unloading the dishwasher. Oh, and I might have to go check on the baby. And then, yeah, babysitter nanny comes at 11, so I'll be in the studio today from like 11 to 5. This has been my favorite candle all summer long. It's the Capri Blue Volcano. It's the one that they burn in anthropology. So if you love that smell in anthropology, this is the candle for you. That being said, I'm trying to burn through it now because I'm ready for my fall candles, and this scent is very summery to me. So it was a nice candle, so I want to make sure to use it. But I'm ready for some pumpkin and cinnamon and all those good, warm, cozy scents. And on that note, I'm setting up some decorative gourds on the table because Penelope has recently become obsessed with pumpkins, and she calls them acorns for some reason I don't understand, and it's so cute. So I wanted to put some more pumpkins around the house. Now headed into the studio, I'm setting up a wall calendar that I got, just a dry erase wall calendar. I got it on Amazon. So I'm just finally sitting down to draw. It's just a little bit before noon. You saw me putting up that calendar. Well, that was a big mess. The calendar itself is cool, but it came with 3M strips, and I should have double checked. I had this feeling, but I think they're actually permanent 3M strips. So even though I used my iPhone leveler, somehow it is not level. And I was trying to double check that and move it, and I tore some of it off. So this is a rental, so it's going to be kind of a pain. We're going to have to fix that, fix the damage to the wall before we leave. So if I were to get this again, which I might when we move, obviously I'll have to, because if they're permanent, I'm not going to be able to move it. What I would have done is just use like the 3M Velcro strips, because those remove from the wall super easy, and you can also reposition. So I'll put the link to this calendar in the description because it is cool. Basically, I've gotten it to help me like keep track of, have a visual overview of like how many projects I have going on, like more of a bird's eye view, I guess. So like right now, I feel like a lot of my planning is very, I'm focused on like what's happening in the day to day, like very specific tasks. But I think I am feeling the need also for like, more of that bird's eye view, so I can have a sense of like how many projects I'm floating at once. In that sense, I think I'm going to really like using it, but it's crooked on the wall and I can't move it. And so I wish that there had been like, that the strips themselves had said like permanent or something on them. That would have been nice to know. Anyway, I have also just replied to the client who I had the meeting with, the phone conference with yesterday. As expected, my proposal was somewhat outside their budget, mainly just because of like how large it is, how much work they're trying to get done. So we are brainstorming right now, going back and forth, trying to think of a way to make it work. I don't think we're going to be able to do it within the original budget that they had planned. It's just not realistic. But there are some changes that I could make in terms of like the license that they would have and the size that I would work at. And then hopefully, if that could bring the budget down a little bit, then they would be able to come up some on their end. So we'll see in the negotiation process right now. The rest of the day, I mainly need to, what do I need to do? Oh, I need to place a blick order at some point today because I'm running out of some colors of colored pencil. And yeah, there's no blick around here. So need to place a blick order. And then besides that, I really have to just finish up these illustrations for this other packaging project that I'm working on. It's 3 illustrations and 3 big illustrations in the sketches. For one of them were not approved. They required some edits, and we've done a few rounds of edits now. So I'm just waiting for that final one to be approved before I can move on to color. I'm hoping to have it today. Actually, I think I told them I needed it by noon today if I was going to be able to make the next deadline in the project. And then I have to finish the other 2. I'm going to try to finish the other 2 so that even if I do get the feedback in late on this 3rd one, maybe I'll still be able to finish it by the 8th. It's hard because if I do quite a bit of watercolor, then I have to like wait for it to really thoroughly dry before I do colored pencil. So there kind of is some limitation there, but that is the plan for today. And now I am back to working on that same project that I was working on yesterday, the packaging illustrations, working with colored pencil. So I'm almost done with these, thankfully. I think I have one more pass on this one to do to get it to where I want it to be. And then I'll be done with 2 out of the 3 that I need to do for this project. Hey guys, it is about 3:15. I have been doing a lot of different things. Primarily, I've been waiting to get client approval for this last illustration on the current packaging project that I'm working on. This is all crooked. And I don't have it yet. Got a soft approval, but I haven't heard back from the full team. So even though it's like 90% sure it's probably okay, I just want to wait until they say so. Since I work in traditional media, once I start, it's a lot harder to make changes. So waiting to hear back on that. I finished up the other 2. I'll probably scan them in tomorrow. And then, yeah, it's really challenging for me whenever I am in a situation where I'm like just waiting to hear back from the client. I feel like that's when I am most prone to waste time because I don't know how much time I do have. So I don't want to like get started on something else. Yeah, so I just ended up like prepping all the stuff for this week's vlog, which I had hoped and planned to do anyway. Like make the cover and write the description and all of that. Well, it's not a vlog. It's the video responding to the comment from the book video. This is feeling so insular. Yes, got all of that ready to go. And then I finally finished and hit publish on a Skillshare class. I feel silly because it's only like a little 20-minute class, but it's all information about like different ways to transfer a sketch or a drawing from whatever surface you originally made it on onto some sort of fine art substrate like wood or paper or canvas or whatever. I guess I feel silly because it's so short. Like I've never made such a short Skillshare class, but it's pretty in depth and it's information that I would have really found helpful a few years ago. So hopefully it will be helpful to other people. I will have a link in the description. And then I'm just glad to have it done too, because I've had it on my list for a while and I had like filmed the footage and I had the footage and was then editing the footage like months later. It felt like, even though it was such a short class, it's been a very drawn out process. So yeah, I'm excited to get moving on some other classes as well. I'm hoping this fall to release, well, maybe like fall and winter to release 2 more classes. I'd like to do one on furry animals and then another one either on like foliage or portraits. So we'll see. Anyway, we are here now because I have basically finished everything I have on my to-do list. That could fit in the time that I have left for today. I have a couple hours left today. I probably will get started on maybe some personal painting after this. I'll recheck my to-do list just to make sure. But I wanted to respond to a couple of questions from the morning routine video. So the first one is from Radhika, who asks, really, I am curious as to why you don't shower daily. So yeah, I shower 2 to 3 times a week, every other day or every 2 days, sometimes every 3 days, especially if it's in the winter. The biggest reason I do that is because I don't feel like I need to shower every day since I'm not like getting really dirty and sweaty. And then it's also, of course, better for the environment because it uses less water, and it's better for my skin. I have kind of eczema prone skin, so being in and out of hot water every day really isn't great for it. And it's also better for curly hair. I think really for everybody's hair, but especially for curly hair if you don't wash it every day. So yeah, that is why I don't shower every day. Then Steffi May asked if I am vegan. And no, I am not vegan. I do try to eat a largely plant-based diet, and at points in time before I got pregnant, I was probably 95% plant-based. I would only have animal products on very rare occasions, but yeah, right now, no, I'm not vegan. And even if we were to get back, well, I should say, even when we do get back to eating closer to that, like 90 or 95% plant-based, probably after the kids are a little older, I don't think I would call myself vegan, because I feel like that is for people who are like really, really, like they're very strict about it. And I just wouldn't, I wouldn't be that way. So, and I'm happy to talk more about that. I do actually really care about eating a primarily plant-based diet. I think ethically it's really important to me for a number of reasons, but I also, yeah, I think it's an area where I feel a little bit uncomfortable because I probably do have a lot in common with people who are vegan in terms of like reasons for doing that. But I also just, yeah, for various personal reasons, I'm never gonna be able to fully commit to doing it 100%. But I think that doing something most of the way or even part of the way is better than not doing it at all. So yeah, like I said, happy to talk more about that, but that's where I'll leave it for now. Beth W asks how I get my hair to look the way that I do, and she thinks it has no frizz. Beth, I will burst your bubble and tell you there's plenty of frizz in there. It's just probably doesn't show up very much on camera. But yes, overall I follow the curly girl method. So if you haven't heard of that, you can just Google curly girl method for curly hair or CG for curly hair. There is a ton of information out there online, lots of Instagram accounts as well. And Jesselyn, this is kind of more of a comment rather than a question. But she says, it's been so great to see what freelance life looked like for you while you were pregnant with Rosie and to learn some of how you prepped for maternity leave. We're getting ready to have our first baby in about 5 weeks. We are excited, but I'm feeling nervous about the adjustment with the new baby and how it will change work schedules, etc. I would love to hear more about how it has been for you and how it has been different with Rosie versus Penelope. The simplest thing to say, I think at this point for me, is that like the transition from 0 to 1, it was much harder than the transition from 1 to 2. The transition from 1 to 2 has felt, obviously there has been a learning curve, but it's felt relatively smooth. And the toughest part about the 1 to 2 transition has not been the baby. It's been the challenges that Penelope is dealing with in terms of like adjusting to not being the only child or the center of attention anymore. So I think Eric would say the same thing, but yeah, that has felt like the most challenging aspect of going from 1 to 2. Going from 0 to 1 was very challenging for me. And I think some of that was just that it's a much bigger life adjustment going from having no kids in your life to having a child that is fully dependent on you. And then also there were personality differences between Penelope and Diana. Penelope was just, she had colic, she cried a lot, she had a lot more needs and didn't sleep very well, had a tough time nursing initially, and I was like very determined to nurse. Rosie had a really natural time with nursing. She doesn't cry a lot, and when she does, she's easily soothed. She sleeps really well. She does have some reflux, but it's not as bad as Penny's. So overall, she seems like an easier baby. And I know some people think that that's a myth, that you're just somehow more experienced as a parent, but she is definitely different. Their personalities are definitely different. But I am also more experienced. I think that helps make it feel easier as well. So if you have kids, especially if you have more than one child, comment below on what was more difficult for you, the transition from 0 to 1 or the transition from 1 to 2. I am potentially going to do some painting this afternoon, but I think I may actually end the vlog here since I'm guessing it's gotten pretty long at this point. So I hopefully will be vlogging again next week. If not, there will be some new video regardless. So thank you to my patrons for sponsoring this video. If you are not a patron yet and you're interested in becoming one, there will be a link in the description box. My patrons, they sponsor this video financially. They sponsor this channel financially so that I can have a video editor. Since I'm a full-time freelance illustrator, I would only really have time to upload videos sporadically as I was allowed by client projects. And really what my patrons enable is the guarantee that there's going to be a video every single week, since I am able to, usually, even if it's a super busy week, I'm able to bring the camera along with me and vlog. It's just the editing that becomes prohibitive once my slate is fully full with client projects. So thank you, patrons, for making this happen. You know who you are. I am so appreciative of each and every one of you. And thank you to all of you for watching, whether you're patrons or not, for your watching, commenting, sharing. All of that is a huge support to the channel as well. And yeah, liking and commenting and sharing the videos are a big way that you can participate in that, even if you're not on Patreon. And then, of course, thank you to Meg for editing. And I think that is it. And I hope everybody has a great week. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.